I got scratched by a dog in Mexico 3 months ago. I didn't think it was a big deal, but now I'm terrified I might have rabies. I should have gotten the vaccine right away, but I was scared of needles. Now I'm desperately trying to get the vaccine before it's too late. It's been almost 3 months since it happened, but I just realized how bad the whole thing really was. I was walking home from school, and I heard something running towards me. Before I could even react, I felt something on my leg. It was a dog. It was trying to bite me, but it couldn't get a good hold. The whole thing only lasted for a few seconds before the dog ran away. I got home and checked my leg. It wasn't a bite, just a scratch, but there was a tiny bit of blood. I cleaned it up, and since it wasn't a full bite, I didn't think much of it. My pants weren't even ripped or scratched. I went on with my day. I had a lot going on, and I barely thought about the dog. But lately, I've been reading about rabies, and I've realized how stupid I was. I should have gotten the rabies vaccine, even though it was just a scratch. Rabies can be spread through saliva. The thought of getting bitten by a rabid dog is terrifying. I should have gone to the doctor right away. It's not like I had no time, it's just that I thought I was being a little dramatic, you know? I'm scared of needles and didn't want to go through the whole process. I mean, it was just a little scratch. I figured I was probably being silly, worrying about a rabid dog, when the dog hadn't even bitten me. But now, I'm worried sick. I don't know if there's anything I can do. All I can do is wait. I hope I didn't make a huge mistake. After I read some of the comments on my post, I knew I had to get to the hospital. I told the doctor everything that happened. He said they would check me out, and they would try to find the dog to see if it was rabid. If it was, they would give me the rabies shots right away. There's something else I forgot to tell you. The dog wasn't a stray. I saw it go into a house after it attacked me. It looked like an old, run-down place, so I thought the dog must be a stray. But it turns out, that's where the dog's owners live. I saw the dog again after the attack, and this time it wasn't trying to bite me. The nurse told me that since the dog was acting friendly, they probably wouldn't think it had rabies, so I wouldn't need the shots. I was really hoping that was true. I was on my way home when I saw an old lady leaving that same house. She had 4 dogs with her. One of them was the same dog that attacked me. I stopped to talk to her. I told her about the attack and asked if the dogs had gotten their rabies shots. She said, of course they're vaccinated. I wouldn't dream of letting my pups go without them. We love our dogs too much for that. I live in Mexico, and they give the rabies shots for free at the hospital. You just have to pay for the medical checkup. I know it was really irresponsible of me to wait 3 months before going to the doctor. It was stupid, but I really appreciate all the help and advice from everyone. I'm going to go to another clinic to see if they have the same rules, or if I should go to a private hospital to get the shots. I just want to feel safe. I know I shouldn't have waited so long. I am scared and a little embarrassed. I'm a big believer in taking care of yourself. Next story. We got hit with unexpected charges from a big company, and they tried to hide it from us. This past Christmas, my wife and I bought a present for our 9-year-old son from a big sports store. It was a football rebounder, like a mini trampoline you kick a ball at and it bounces back. We bought it online from their website in Ireland. A few days later, we got a message from a delivery company saying we had to pay extra customs charges on something. We were confused because we didn't remember buying anything else online. We thought it might be a scam. My wife was really worried. We hadn't been expecting extra charges at all. My wife called the store to figure out what was going on. We learned that the rebounder had been shipped from the UK to Ireland and then delivered by a different delivery company. It felt really unfair that they hadn't told us about the extra charges beforehand. We had bought other things online before, but we never had to pay any extra money. My wife and I are both on disability and couldn't really afford to pay almost €50 in extra charges. It felt like we were already struggling to make ends meet. We decided she should pay the customs fees, and I would deal with the store. The first day, I called the store and was on hold for a long time, at least 20 minutes each time I called. I tried to be patient and polite, since I used to work in a call center. It's a tough job, and I knew those people were probably just trying to do their best. But all I wanted was to speak to a manager. I explained the whole situation to the customer service representative and asked them to connect me with their manager, but they wouldn't. They just promised to call me back, but they never did. I started to get really frustrated. The second day was the same. I called again, waited forever on hold, and finally got through to someone who told me they would transfer me to a manager, but then nothing happened. They hung up on me. The third day, I was really starting to get angry. I called again and waited even longer on hold. Finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I told the person on the phone that I wanted the €50 back. In Ireland, stores are supposed to tell you about extra charges before you buy something. But this store hadn't told us anything. It felt like they were trying to trick us. The person on the phone didn't seem to care. They didn't even apologize for the whole situation. They just offered to give us a €20 gift card to use on their website. It wasn't much, and it felt like an insult. The worst part was that the person said they advise their customers there might be DDU charges, like customs fees, on anything shipped outside the UK. Then I asked them where they put this information on the website, but they couldn't tell me. I told them this was against the rules, and I was going to give them one last chance to fix it. I said if they didn't call me back from the manager within an hour, I would post about the whole problem on LinkedIn and tag all the big bosses in the company. Then I hung up the phone and waited. They never called back. The next day, I did exactly what I said I would. I wrote a post about what happened, how they hid these charges from us, and how they were ignoring us. I tagged every senior person in the company, from the local managers to the bosses in Europe and even the CEO. I was really angry that they treated customers this way. It wasn't fair that a big company could take advantage of their customers like this. Not long after I posted, I noticed that the store had removed the rebounder from their website. I guess they thought people wouldn't be able to find it if it wasn't there anymore. They really didn't know how the internet works. I took a screenshot of the website before and after they removed the rebounder. Then I looked for the page in a Google search, which showed me a copy of the website from a few days earlier. That copy still had the rebounder on it. I added a comment to my LinkedIn post, pointing out that they were trying to hide the problem. I tagged all the bosses again and said they shouldn't treat people this way, especially around Christmas. My post started getting a lot of attention, not just on LinkedIn, but also from a few secret viewers on my profile. I was pretty sure it was someone from the company. It seemed like they were checking to see what I was up to. I took a screenshot of my viewer list and commented on my post again, pointing out the mystery viewers. It felt like the store was trying to silence me, but they didn't realize how stubborn I was. The next morning, I got a call from a top manager at the store in the UK. She apologized and wanted to know what she could do to make things right. She was very polite and seemed concerned about what had happened. I told her that all I wanted was my €50 back because it wasn't fair, and it wasn't even legal for them to charge me for it without telling me. But because they were so stubborn and difficult, now I also wanted a full refund for the rebounder, and I wanted to keep it. It seemed unfair that we had been treated so poorly and then expected to pay extra on top of that. She agreed to try to fix it and said she would call back in a few hours. About an hour later, she called back again. She apologized again, and asked for my PayPal information so she could send me the €50. She also gave me a full refund for the rebounder and let us keep it. I thanked her for making things right, because I was just happy to be done with this whole ordeal. But I knew I wouldn't let anyone walk all over my family, no matter how big and rich their company was. The main point of this whole story is, don't let people take advantage of you. I may be just one person, but my son's belief in Santa is much more important to me than what some big company thinks about their customers. It made me really happy that I was able to stand up for my family and that in the end, things turned out well. And now I'm also happy that I was able to give my son the present that he was really hoping for.